All right, well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today. My name is Deborah Chevalier. I'm with SEISHA, and I am the Bilingual Urban Coordinator. Before we get started, I'd like to acknowledge that we operate on Treaty 2, Treaty 4, Treaty 5, and Treaty 6 territory, the traditional gathering land of 31 Indigenous peoples and the homeland of the Métis. We reaffirm our relationship with the Indigenous people of this territory, and this is an important part of our history and an important part of our future. Thank you again for joining us for the Francophone Pathways in Saskatchewan, Le Parcours Francophone en Saskatchewan. SEISHA worked closely with our event advisory committee from l'Assemblée communautaire francescoise, Service d'accueil et d'inclusion francophone, and Réseau en immigration francophone de la Saskatchewan to bring together this special networking event. Over the next 2 days, you'll have an opportunity to virtually network with French-speaking and non-French-speaking agencies across Saskatchewan. We encourage you to reach out using the tool chat box. Click on attendees on the top of the menu to find someone you wish to communicate with. You can also share your contact information or open chat with the message button below. And our program incorporates speakers from across Francophone agencies across Saskatchewan and panel discussions. The program is designed to promote the strong links between Francophone and non-Francophone communities in order to improve the pathways to Francophone services for newcomers. This initiative may allow newcomers to make informed decisions by obtaining precise and complete information on settlement services, as well as community programs offered in French by Francophone organizations and the presence of Francophone communities throughout the integration. And also, before I get started here, I just wanted to bring to your attention our poster and the pictures on the poster and the reasoning why shows that. So I'm just going to share my screen and show it to you. Just one moment here, sorry. And the reason I wanted to show you the pictures and just pay attention to the pictures, I wanted to show a picture of us collaborating. But ultimately, if you look at the last picture, this is a family. And these are the people we want to support. We want to bring programs and services available to them to ultimately support them. And that is why we're here today, because they are the people that are going to benefit from our programs. So thank you again for joining us today. And I'm just going to stop that share screen. Simultaneous interpretations provided throughout this conference. So again, on the globe in the bottom, there should say interpretation. Please select the language you desire to hear this presentation in. Just a few housekeeping items for today. Just make sure you are muted while the speakers are presenting. And if you want into any questions or concerns over the next few days, you can email me directly. And I'll just put my email on the chat box below. So here it is. So please let me know if there's any challenges, questions, or even if you need support connecting with another agency. This event cannot happen without the support of the panelists and our advisory committee who have dedicated their time today and tomorrow. And I would like to introduce the panelists that are presenting today. So for today, we have, first of all, Denis Simard, who's going to provide a contextualization of Francophone immigration objectives and priorities. And he is the president of the l'Assemblée communautaire francescoise. Afterwards, we have Ferdinand Bararou-Zanza, and he is the administrator coordinator at Réseau en immigration francophone de la Saskatchewan. And I apologize, I made a slight spelling mistake. He's Francophone consultation table. So Francophone concertation. And then we have Charles Billard presenting as the director with Service d'accueil et d'inclusion francophone Saskatchewan. Afterwards, we have Chantal Morin, coordinatrice, coordinator at Communauté francophone accueillante. And then we have Siriki Diabagate, Conseil économique et coopératif de la Saskatchewan. So that's with Employment and Immigration Services. And then we have Mamadi Kamara, Provincial Logistic Coordinator with, and he works closely with Education and Immigration Services at Collège Mathieu. And then we have Mireille Bizimana, General Director at Communauté des Africains francophones de la Saskatchewan. After each of our panelists are done presenting, you're more than welcome to ask questions. And then at the end of the panelist presentation, we will have a large group discussion on how we may improve our pathways to Francophone services and what have you learned today that will help you moving forward. All right, well, thank you so much, everyone. I believe that is all the panelists speaking today, and it is now my pleasure to introduce to you to Denise Simard.
Bonjour tout le monde.
Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you to name of Assemblée communautaire francaskoise. I want to acknowledge all our guests at all the level of government, our community, the agencies in immigration. It's a great happiness for me to be with you. Also, I want to thank all the partners of the Saskatchewan community and the Western Agency, because it's very important that we talk about immigration as a file, and it's essential for the future of our communities. I was asked today to talk about a context of the Francophone immigration and his history also, and what is organization also. So ACF exists 110 years we've existed. We're going to celebrate next year. So it's a great honor for us to continue to represent the ACF. So we have leaders of the Francophone community in for culture, seniors, etc. So why immigration is so important for us in Saskatchewan? You don't know that we are a minority, a linguistic minority, even if we are an official language of our country. The demographics of our community continue to go down. So why immigration is so important is to help us to uh, keep the demographic weight of our community. And especially in the last years, with the boom economic of our province, with what happened and the new priorities on the national level for immigration, Francophone immigration, it's really an economic weapon for us. You don't you know also that the French language can be is spoken around 200 countries in the world, and to have a bilingual community like us help us economy and cultural, and also to have a segment of our communication, there are community that can deal with areas around the world. The federal government and the IRCC gave the objective to have a percentage of French people that will be recruited, and that so if we met those targets, yes or no, but of course us, we are completely engaged to increase the immigration, and they speak so their first Canadian language is French, but of course it can be their fifth, their sixth, their 12th language personally. So here it's very important to continue to go get more immigration. because of labor force, people that can work, yes, in French, but also in English, but also they want to work in French, live in French. So our community in Saskatchewan, one of the gifts we give to the province and all our partners, we can be a welcoming community and to ensure a good integration, a good welcoming and to have a community sentiment. And I'm very happy that you'll hear today panelists from all the different agencies in Saskatchewan, and they're going to show how they are experts in their field. And for everyone that choose Saskatchewan and that can speak French, and we offer them a welcoming community that's going to help them, that's uh, gonna uh, and all of that with using French language. And for demographics, I'll give you the stats. So for the one born Saskatchewan first language, about 2% of population. The one that can speak, so the ones that are learning French, mostly Anglophones. So now it's around 5% of Saskatchewan. So our interests with the weight, demographic weight, we need immigration, we need welcoming people from international. So to have at least a 5% of population, we would like to maintain this percentage. So yearly, we would have to recruit 7 to 10% that would immigrate, choose Saskatchewan, and keep speaking French. So on this, I have to leave. My colleagues are with me. My Director General, our staff also, Ferdinand, Saif and Charles. It's all people that can answer all your questions. You're in very good hands, but also what please listen to all the services of all the agencies and groups that are going to talk. Why immigration important? Because the message I think that you will receive today is that we reach out to you and we want to work in the partnership to have a better future for not only the Saskatchewan community, but all the communities that speak French. So please stay with us, listen carefully, and I will give back the microphone to my colleagues. And please, I wish you're going to have great day-to-day of partnership. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Denis. And I will let the other panelists go ahead. Et c'est à votre tour, Siriki. Oh, désolé, pas Siriki, Ferdinand. Thank you again, everyone. And I'll just give it to Siriki. And Siriki, I think, or Ferdinand, sorry, I get the names mixed up. Why? You
Ferdinand, juste pour que tu saches, tu es muté, on t'entend pas.
Maintenant, ça va?
Is that okay now? Can you hear us now? Okay, good. So I was saying earlier in my presentation that I had planned on presenting certain information and statistics, and Monsieur Denis Simard just mentioned and described it very clearly. So I'm not going to repeat what he said. Thank you so much, Denis Simard, for such a clear presentation. I am directly going to go straight to the objective by presenting my paper on approximately 4 sections. The first section is going to touch on the general context of Réseau en Immigration Francophone, so French immigration networks. The second section is going to touch more closely on networks, on Francophone immigration in Saskatchewan, the members, what we do there. In the third section, I'm going to talk about the partnership with Anglophone organizations. And then the fourth and last section, I am going to talk about the main domains of cooperation. With regards to section 1 then, understanding the general context of Francophone immigration networks of Canada, I'm going to tell you that the 13 networks of Francophone immigration bring together all the authors, the frontline authors for everything that is done among Francophone communities and Acadian communities to attract, recruit, welcome, and integrate newcomers, Francophone newcomers. Their purpose is to gather for the benefit of the immigrant, their family, the welcoming community, all the resources and all the knowledge of a variety of stakeholders and sectors. Among more than 250 members of RIF, we have school boards, organizations for economic development, colleges and universities, health services, cultural centers and organizations, employment assistance services, federal, provincial, and territorial governments and departments. RIFs also work closely with other partners, including chambers of commerce, municipalities, and much more. More specifically, the mission of RIF is to ensure partnerships with stakeholders of different sectors, whether they be community-based, private, parapublic, as well as governmental, identify the needs of newcomers, as well as the gaps and the assets of the community with regards to different steps on the immigration continuum, develop with the whole of the community plans with regards to Francophone immigration to meet the identified needs and to guide national priorities with regards to Francophone immigration. Raise awareness, mobilize support, communities and partnerships to implement Francophone immigration plans. In addition, in collaboration with FCFA and other partners, RIFs coordinate various initiatives for awareness and mobilization, including the National Francophone Immigration Week liaisons to inform employers on the possibilities and advantages of recruiting and hiring French-speaking immigrants. Nationally, the Federation of Francophone and Acadian Communities of Canada ensures the coordination of RIFs in order to be able to support them in attaining tangible results, as well as partners of the strategy to ensure the immigration among CFAs everywhere in the country. The second section is more specifically with regards to our network of Francophone immigration in Saskatchewan. There are 17 members that you can see here in the dialogue or consultation steps. In the agenda, there was a small mistake. It says concentration table. It's not a concentration table. There's a mistake there. It's actually a dialogue or consultation table. So this table, around the table, there are 17 members that we are going to describe very quickly. There is the Association Canadienne Française Regina. If you want to read more closely what the Francophone Canadian Association of Regina does, I have shared a PowerPoint that will be emailed to you later. The second organization is the Francophone Association, Franco-Saskatois Community Association of Gravelbourg, of Moose Jaw, and also the Francophone Federation of Saskatoon. These four organizations are local members. Alongside these local members, we have provincial members as well. And the mission, their mandate is therefore provincial throughout the province of Saskatchewan. And at the top, there's going to be the Community Franco-Saskatois Association. That organization is responsible for immigration affairs. That Franco-Saskatois Community Organization represents us with regards to immigration issues. There's also the Youth Franco-Saskatois Association and the Legal Practitioners of Saskatchewan is another one. There's also the Parcours Francophone Association, the Cité Universitaire Francophone of the University of Regina, the Collège Mathieu, the African Francophone Communities of Saskatchewan, the Franco-Saskatois Cultural Board, the Franco-Saskatois School Board, the Economic Board of Saskatchewan, the Health Network of Saskatchewan, the Historical of Saskatchewan Center, the Welcoming Center as well of Saskatchewan. Other members of RAVE Saskatchewan are members that are ex officio and just regular observers. The ex officio members participate in discussions, but they do not have the power to make any decisions. These includes those elected by the Franco-Saskatois Community Association. They can also be independent experts duly registered with RAVE Saskatchewan according to the procedures in force. They mainly report federal and or community orientations on immigration to the RIF roundtable and bring provincial concerns on the subject up to the national level. Currently, ex officio members of RAVE Saskatchewan is Mr. Denis Simard, who just presented the biggest issues in Francophone immigration and the importance of this among Francophone people and the development of Francophone communities as a minority community in Saskatchewan. We also talk about regular observers. These regular observers are government officials. A right to speak may be granted to them by the table during discussions, but they do not have the right to vote. They bring to the table information, knowledge, and advice, and they benefit from the expertise of the roundtable to guide their respective mandates during RAFE meetings. The collaboration and development is mutual. They give us information that is useful for our functioning. And in the other way, it's also because of our expertise, we can help them with resources that we have to deal with any concerns. For example, to help the federal government well understand properly immigration matters and to act accordingly. So it is definitely a reciprocal relationship. So now I am in my third section, partnerships with Anglophone organizations. We have a lot of partnerships with Anglophone organizations because we say that when we are in a minority area, it's important to connect our actions and thoughts in order to help Francophone minorities in Anglophone dominated communities. It's very important to share concerns, assets, resources for them to be able to truly integrate in an environment that is also Anglophone. That is why it is very important for Saskatchewan to emphasize collaboration with Anglophones. So the first partner, Anglophone partner, is the local immigration partner, Regina Region Local Immigration Partnership. The RRLIP collaborates with key stakeholders and community stakeholders in Regina in order to facilitate collaboration, increase the impact, and reinforce capacities of local actors in the immigration sector. It wants to welcome and include newcomers to Regina. The RRLIP is headed by the Multi-Sectorial Partnership Board, and this board guides and supervises the implementation of the Community Establishment Welcoming Plan. The second partner is the Immigration Partnership Saskatoon, IPS. The IPS is a partner, a multi-sectorial partnership that gathers 70 local organizations. It raises awareness and shares leadership in order to ensure an environment that is favorable to collective or collaborative action. The third one is the South Central Regional Immigration Partnership. It is based in Moose Jaw and represents partnerships from all of the central to south region of Saskatchewan. This includes all communities in a 150-kilometer radius around Moose Jaw. This includes those aligned with the Moose Jaw Newcomer Center, which is the host organization of SC-RIP. The fourth one is the umbrella organization, if you will, SASIA, and that thanks to them, we are gathered here today. They have organized this important collaborative event, SASIA. They are it is headed by Deborah Chevalier, and you can see her on the screen. She's here with us today. SASIA is an umbrella organization that gathers service providers with regards to Saskatchewan immigration. They also offer service providers assistance and inclusion for immigration, for immigrants, including resources and professionals in order to be able to improve their internal procedures, programs, and services. SASIA is financed by IRCC, the Department of Economics of Saskatchewan, and other member organizations. I need to mention here that there are likely other contributors who may have been forgotten in what I just mentioned. The fifth organization is the Multicultural Council of Saskatchewan. This Multicultural Council of Saskatchewan has raised awareness since 1975 with regards to the advantages of having cultural diversity and the dangers of racism. It currently represents 6 regional multicultural councils and gathers 56 member organizations, including thousands of volunteers. Finally, the 4th section deals with the main areas of collaboration. We have identified a large number of collaboration domains or areas with Anglophones. If you look at this table, we have the first axis of collaboration, which is evaluation or assessment services for referrals and settlement. Here you can see that there are a number of Anglophone organizations that take care of this assessment, and there's also a collaboration among Francophones and Anglophones. And I think that someone else will be speaking about this more precisely. The second axis is settlement services. The third axis is going to deal more with the sharing that I have not put on this table, but the sharing of activities such as meetings that allow us to harmonize the challenges faced by Francophone immigration. And I feel that Saif is going to be better able to provide detail on this. And so I would like to conclude my presentation by thanking you for your attention and thanking you for your patience as well. Thank you and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much, Ferdinand, for that lovely introduction and all the collaboration. That's really wonderful to see. There we go. And and I just want to make a small correction there. So the SCRIP, South Central Regional Immigration Partnership, is now known as PSIN, Prairie Skies Integration Network. So I just wanted to pass that message along. And now we have Charles Billard, from the Director of Service d'accueil et d'inclusion francophone. So that translates to Inclusive Services, Francophone Services. So I'll just pass on to Charles. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everyone. Basically, the SAIF or SAIFSK has been formed since 2020. It's a subsidiary of the ACF, and it's dedicated solely to welcoming and inclusion services for the Francophone community in Saskatchewan. So basically, we use an inclusive approach. These are some of the organizations we work with. And since 2006, the Francophone community has adopted an inclusive, immigrant-centered approach for the welcoming and settlement of newcomers. The SAIF is responsible for the welcoming and settlement services initiated for newcomers. Depending on their evolution in the integration process, they benefit from our services. Excuse me, they benefit from our services or from those of our partners. Francophone Immigration Network, or RIF. Our goal is to ensure that Francophones have full access to all aspects of their adopted community, be it government services, institutional access, employment, or other service components. Also facilitate the integration and inclusion process. The following slides describe in more detail the services offered to newcomers by SAIF. So basically our main areas of focus, overall it's welcoming and settlement, but some of the activities are information orientation, inclusion, pre-departure service, and a settlement in schools program. Welcoming and settlement. Basically, we provide information and orientation packages to newcomers, providing valuable information about the new community. The next step is to analyze the needs of newcomers and develop a settlement plan with our settlement counselors. Follow up initial paperwork such as health card, social insurance number, cell phone purchases, safety work boots, etc. In addition, we provide local information, transportation services, health professional information, training centers, municipal or regional recreation options, etc. So basically we do initial needs analysis and settlement plans. That is most often done by our two needs assessment agents, one based in Regina and one based in Saskatoon. Also give support for government administration. Also take into account different individual needs, provide assistance in the search for housing, doctor, school, childcare, public services, interpretation services during formal meetings, and we also have a free public notary service in Regina, Saskatoon, and Bellevue. Our information orientation activities. Basically during the settlement stage, SAIF facilitates childcare enrollment and helps navigate and enroll in the various education systems available, either in the Francophone, Catholic, or public school systems, offering programs in French, French immersion, or English. We offer assistance with registration and testing for language courses, English or French, as well as offering translation, interpretation, and coaching services for healthcare needs or driving a vehicle. And as I said before, our notary services for document certification, affidavits, oaths, power of attorney, etc. So these can be basically help individually, one-on-one, or it can also be workshops and information sessions according to the individual needs of the clients. A lot of it is useful information, familiarize the clients with the environment and the Canadian system, and also focus on active participation in the Francophone community. Our inclusion services. That's quite a wide range of activities that we give. With the development of community connections, SAIF explores community programming and cultural activities. It encourages volunteerism and involvement in the community or neighborhood in order to live new experiences and develop skills. Also to create links and opportunities to facilitate access to employment. It's important to introduce parents and children to various youth programs and activities, such as day camps, summer camps, and various sports teams. SAIF, along with several community partners, offer thematic workshops, either in a group or individually in various fields, such as law, history, security, finance, health, computer science, roles of parents, etc. So it's basically community integration, volunteering opportunities, orientation for children's programs, information about community activities, also have French conversation circles, summer camps for children, and all kinds of awesome discoveries in Saskatchewan. One example is we had an activity to visit virtually and in person a local farm near Regina, and also different other activity was a visit to the RCMP museum. Just two examples. And just our services are province-wide. We have two offices, one in Regina, our main office, and in Saskatoon. And we also have personnel based in Pontiac and Bellevue. And we basically our services can serve the whole province. These are some of the Francophone communities: Pontiac, Gravelbourg, Bellegarde, Trinité, Regina, Saskatoon, North Battleford, Prince Albert, Bellevue, Dobie, St. Louis, Debden, Zeno Park, and Moose Jaw. Our pre-departure service is basically, it's part of a federal and innovative project funded and supported by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, with the aim of harmonizing and streamlining the reception of French-speaking newcomers. The pre-departure service is offered in partnership with the Manitoba Francophone team, which is coordinating the project. They have a long history of working with embassies abroad and have developed working relationships with several Canadian embassies and consulates. For the past 15 years, our organization has participated in events such as Destination Canada and has led or participated in exploratory missions in France, Belgium, Morocco, Tunisia, Cameroon, Senegal, Mauritius, and Romania, contributed to the more than 1,500 Francophone newcomers who have settled in Saskatchewan over the past 5 years. The implementation of pre-departure services means that these many contacts allow for better orientation before arrival for selected candidates and provide valuable comparative information to better understand the differences and similarities, whether related to family, culture, or climate, allowing for a judicious choice. So it's basically pre-arrival information, referrals, and settlement assistance, support to facilitate social and professional integration before arrival, French language services and information on Saskatchewan's Francophone communities, and a better understanding of how Canadian society works. And our partners ensure continuous services after arrival. Okay, our settlement in schools. We have two settlement worker in schools agents, one in Regina, one in Saskatoon. And that's basically work with newcomer families and children enrolled in the Francophone schools. Some examples of the activities are homework club, school system adaptation workshops, follow up with families, information sessions on extracurricular activities, information sessions on parental involvement. And one of the, I guess one of the major programs we have every year is the Camp Voyageur, that we are summer camp for, that's given in French. We also do various other activities such as provision of school supplies for families and some activities to help families understand the Saskatchewan educational system, and also activities to prepare students and their families in September when school starts again. So we offer services in French and also English, and also some other languages such as Kirundi. So diversity is one of our strengths, and together we support it. And also mentioned we do have some partnerships with the Anglophone organizations such as Saskatoon and Open Door Society, the Regina Region Local Immigration Partnership, Regina International Women of Saskatoon, and the Regina Immigrant Women's Center. So merci beaucoup, and thank you very much for your attention, and thank you for inviting me to your event.
Thank you so much, Charles. And I was the assistant director at SAIF, and thank you again for taking the time out of your day to provide us this lovely presentation. And next on our agenda, we have Chantal Morin, coordinator at Communauté Francophone Accueillante. So I will give you the floor. Thank you. And you're still muted there.
Morning, everybody. As mentioned, my name is Chantal Morin, and I am program coordinator for La CFA, which is Communauté Francophone Accueillante. And in English, it's Welcoming Francophone Community. Same as SAIF, we are a subsidiary of the Assemblée Communautaire Fransaskoise. And so welcome, I'm just gonna show this. Welcome to the welcoming Francophone community of Moose Jaw and Gravelbourg. The Moose Jaw and Gravelbourg Welcoming Francophone Community Initiative allows through various activities to build a more welcoming Francophone community and aims to develop inclusive leadership and economic opportunities, entrepreneurship, and jobs by and for newcomers in Gravelbourg and Moose Jaw. This is a pilot project jointly led by the Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada, IRCC, the 14 Francophone communities chosen, the Federation of Francophone and Acadian Communities, the FCFA, and the Atlantic Committee on Francophone Immigration, le CAIF. The WFC initiative is a 3-year community-based pilot project in response to the request of Francophone minority communities expressed during the 2015 and 2017 consultations on Francophone immigration. Its aim is to support the consolidation of the Francophone integration route. Welcoming Francophone communities will support partnerships and community initiatives, including awareness and an environment
pour générer
links between newcomers and the French-speaking community, an appropriate response to the needs of French-speaking newcomers, women, young people, visible minorities, etc., the integration of immigrants into French-speaking communities and their desire to stay there. The selected community must meet the following criteria: presence of French-speaking immigrants, availability of services in French. The community demonstrates a need to attract and retain French-speaking newcomers. The community is ready to get involved in the project, and the community has a limited geographic scale. Each selected community will strive to make its community more welcoming. A welcoming Francophone community is an inclusive community where French-speaking newcomers to Canada feel that their identity is valued and that they can integrate into the host community. Its implementation will be led by and for French-speaking communities. So this is an example of our activities because it's a 3-year project. It's from 2020 to 2023. So connecting French-speaking newcomers, local organizations, and institutions in the host community of the CFA region to initiate a commitment with French-speaking newcomers regarding decision-making at different levels within the host community, and to bring inclusive leadership values into the Francophone integration project. We have chosen 2 avenues, inclusive leadership and economic opportunities. The economic opportunities are to engage employment stakeholders by strengthening the human dynamics of the economic integration process in urban and rural communities. By social aspect, we are referring to the decommissioning of economic integration networks of the linguistic majority versus the minority. Continuous contact for participants beyond the regular networking opportunities, co-responsibility of the host community, newcomers in terms of economic integration. So these are the activities that we had. The WFC kickoff was last year. We have volunteer appreciation program. We have interviews on local radio, including regarding inclusive leadership. Every year we celebrate Francophone immigration, community referral network, People's University, advertising campaign for newcomers, employer advertising campaign, and twinning of economic program. The relationship between the 2 communities of the project is wonderful. As mentioned earlier, we have Gravelbourg and Moose Jaw together making one community. Each community works collaboratively to ensure the success of the project. A Gravelberg and Moose Jaw host page has been created on Facebook to share Phase 2 activities and encourage newcomers and the CFA community to participate. A CFA or WFC, Welcoming Francophone Community newsletter will also be sent to subscribers to keep the community informed of the coming activities in the Welcoming Francophone community. The radio interview activity can be heard on the Prairie FM 93.1 radio with testimonials from a community member or a newcomer to the community. We have a new radio interview every first Tuesday of the month, and we rebroadcast it every Tuesday that follows. During the radio interviews, we take a video and put the video on the Prairie FM Facebook page, as well as our Facebook page. Prairie FM is also boosting the video to get as many views as possible to promote the project. Université Populaire with Le Collège Mathieu. Examples of the popular university workshops we've had are mental health, winter climate, international food, Excel in 2 parts, healthy nutrition, Canadian food, and Canadian taxes. We promote in local newspapers on our Facebook pages and send email invitations to our contacts. Registration is required for the workshops, and most of our workshops took place online due to COVID. And now we'll talk about the employment opportunities in partnership with the CACS. Activity 7 was advertising campaign for newcomers. The campaign is aimed at Francophone and bilingual newcomers and focuses on employment, entrepreneurship, and training services to gain the knowledge and contacts needed to enter the Saskatchewan labor market. Some of the workshops that we had last year in partnership with the CACS is market and job search, resume writing and cover letter, interview process, laws, safety and working conditions, starting your own business, the Canadian banking system, personal budget management, laws, safety and working conditions. Sorry, I said that twice. We also have an activity employer advertising campaign. This encourages local employers to pay more attention to the recruitment of Francophone bilingual newcomers in order to increase the economic development of the region, while encouraging immigrants to develop other skills in the different areas of employment specific to the host community. And that's it for the presentation. And once again, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chantal. And I know we have a lot of SACIA members here today as well. And for those of you who are members, you may have received my resource sharing emails about the CFA. So the most recent one I shared was the mental health training, 2 sessions on September 23rd and October 5th from 6 to 7 p.m. So now you have a face to put to it. So this is Chantal, and these are the resources I've been forwarding to you. They're really amazing, and they do such good work in the community. So thank you so much, Chantal. Now we have a face to put with my information that I forward over. So thank you again, and thank you so much for being here. And if there's any further information, if you're a member of SACIA, we always try to pass that along to our members and keep everyone on the loop. So, all right. Okay, so next we have with Employment and Immigration Services, we have Siriki Diabagate, and he's the coordinator of employment and immigration with the Conseil économique et coopératif de la Saskatchewan. I believe it translates to Economic Council Cooperative of Saskatchewan. So I'll give the floor to you, Siriki. And I don't hear anything yet, so I'm just letting you know that you might still be muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. Parfait,
And,
merci.
OK, merci. Peux-tu voir mon écran?
Yeah.
OK. So, like I said, my name is Siriki. I'm in charge of supervisor for the employment program at Conseil économique et coopératif de Saskatchewan. Employment is one of our main activity we do here. We also do business development, but today we're going to talk more about employment aspect of our work. So as you can, excuse me, for some reason here. Okay. So basically, under the employment program, we have the employment sector, we have different program on, at the CECS. So basically, I'm going to talk about all the different programs here. As you can see, these flyers kind of summarize pretty much all the program we have here. We'll talk about economic integration, Accès Emploi, which is more like a youth employment, 15 to 30 years old. Accès Emploi for minority women, Connector with some kind of mentorship program, networking for professional newcomer in the country. We also have an employment service for Francophone job seekers. The first one I'm going to discuss, before I go forward, I ask Deborah to share my presentation for you guys. So whatever you guys have, you can have more detail. I won't read all the flyers because I know everybody can read here. Basically, I'm going to try to explain the objective of all the program we have here. So mainly our job here basically is to help people find a job and, you know, to summarize, like help people put bread on the table for their family. Basically, that's what we do. The integration, the economic integrations, basically to you know, like all of the program, it's for people looking for job, and employers looking for people who are looking for job too. So who can be eligible for the program? We
Qui
talk
peut
about
être admissible à le résident permanent?
other type of you know, confirm or pending confirmation, refugees, living caregivers, some those kind of status people can have it. And what we do exactly is a one-on-one meeting. You know, some people come, they want to know more the law about work, how to conduct interview, or to, you know, to behave, or a resume or something like that. So basically we do into a one-on-one meeting, or we also do some workshop. Will be a group of people on the specific you know, subject, like you know, and we also organize some job fair, mini job fair. We also have some network opportunities. Sometimes we bring people together, people looking for job, people who have job looking for people. We bring them together and make sure, you know, to have them find, have the match they're looking for, and hopefully they can find some job. So this is basically, this program. This is basically what the program is up for. So I'm gonna talk, and who is in charge also. I also trying to share with you who's in charge of different programs. So if you have a question, you can contact them directly, how we can work together, and so on. So basically for that program, we have two people. One person is the Papi Chishwaka, is based in Regina, and the other person is based in Saskatoon, is the Felicite Nimugora. We have an office in Regina, maybe I should have said that, Regina, Moose Jaw, Saskatoon, St. Louis. So basically, we pretty much all over the place. The next program we're going to talk about is the Accès Emploi. This is a very interesting program. We're looking for it for young people between age 15 and 30 to help them overcome barrier to employ. Usually some people will finish their grade 12, they don't know what to do. I'm going to take a year off. I don't know if I want to go to university. This program can help them, you know, to help them find out exactly what they want. It's a very interesting program. Why? Because For 3 weeks, we train them, it's a training session to prepare them for the work experience, basically. And after that, the program total, the duration is 26 weeks. So for the whole 26 weeks, we offer a wage subsidy, which is a minimum hour, but there's a lot of mistake here because since October, the minimum wage is $11.45 per hour. So for 26 weeks, we're gonna help the employer subsidize the salary of that young man. So then the employer have to add maybe $1, $2, $3, $4 on top of that wage. So for 26 weeks, so in total, we talk about around 30 grand for 26 weeks, which is very interesting. And it's some kind of, I would say, a card for the youth to, approach someone and say, you know what, if you hire me, this is what I can bring to the table for you. So part of my wages will be subsidized by this program. And, at the end, our, what we objective is to help the young people find a job, or maybe find out they need more skills. So to go back to school to get whatever is lacking and come back on the job market later. So this is something interesting. And if you have more questions, I can answer that later or contact the person in charge. And also, like other program, we do have 2 people in charge, one in Regina, one in Saskatoon. In Regina, the person in charge is Jean-Claude. In Saskatoon, the other person is Mamadou Ba. So basically, you get all the information to reach them. If you have more questions, it's a very interesting program for the youth. And the only requirements that we ask the youth to be for the Francophone, you have to be able to speak French for that program. The next one I'm gonna talk to you about is the Access Emploi Visible Minority Women. This is a program for women. Basically, what we do, we to help women to go back to the job market, and we do have different workshops. And basically, the idea at the end is to be able to help them have the skill they need regarding the employment, and then they can find a job, something like. So we help them want to go through all the process. We also support them. There's this different service we offer with this program. Basically, we will pay for different programs. Like some woman will say, I want to be a home care worker, or I want to be administrative assistant. So we paid for the classes for those bookkeeping. We pay for that. We can have them pay for the classes. And at the end, also when they find a job for the 3 months, we're gonna have them with the childcare, transportation, other costs will be covered by the program, which is interesting. And this one, it's French or English, everybody, doesn't matter, is eligible for this program. So something interesting to share among your network, so women can. So right now, so far this year, we've been working for around, I would say, around 24 women so far. And childcare is covered for 3 months, transportation covered for 3 months. So that helped a little bit. The idea is to, when they do that, to help them get back on the job market, focus, different classes paid, so this is something we offer. And we also help the women find internship, or we go all the process with them, help them set their resume, train them for interview, help them find a job, apply for a job, prepare them for interview, and even sometimes find some internship for them. And from the internship, it can become a permanent job for them. So this is basically what we do with this program. And this program, right now, the lady in charge of that, her name is Ama Kayode Ilori. She's based in Saskatoon. This is a program all for the whole province, but the person in charge is based in Saskatoon. And once again, if there's more, you guys have any question, more you need from us, just feel free to contact me or contact Ama, and we'll be happy to give more information regarding this program. The next one is something interesting, is the connector. Basically, connector is like is close to mentorship. Basically, what we had post-secondary graduate immigrant to help them reach the labor market. So basically someone who is a professional from another country moved to Saskatchewan. Let's say the person was accountant and you want to work in the field. So, usually it's not that easy because things are a little different. So this program will have that person get in contact with another person in the same field. And the idea is the person who was trained in Canada to have that other person who's a newcomer or immigrant to say, okay, this is how things work, and to have the immigrant to connect with different other people in the field, and to learn about the profession, and also to broaden the person network at the end, and hopefully to end up on the job. This program, we don't promise, we don't tell people we're going to find them a job. We had them build a network. Everybody know the importance of network. From there, a lot of things can happen. So basically, that's what we do. We do have some workshop, also do some training, like, how to network, how to, learn about the fields in Canada, the differences we can have. If there's, degree recognition or something like that, we have all this aspect with people. And the person in charge of this program is Annick Terrien. She's based in Regina. Once again, all the information is there. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to contact one of us and we'll be glad to answer all your questions. The next program is more employment service for Francophone job seeker. Basically, for people, you have to be Francophone. This one's specific for Francophone people. Once again, kind of like other program based. The objective is to help people find a job, or people have a job, find someone who can work for them. And like you can see here, to be eligible, you have to be permanent resident, refugee, Canadian citizen, visitor no more than 2 years. And once again, it's a very hands-on stuff, like one-on-one meeting for whatever you need out, and we're gonna work with you. If you need a resume, if you need to practice for interview because you don't know how to, to do it. If you need to help to search for job or to apply for job and something like that, we will help you through that program. So we do some one-on-one, like I said, also some workshop to help people make sure they can, find a job, where to look for a job, and those kind of things when you need a job. Right now, there's 2 people in charge of that program. The position in Regina is vacant. So if you know someone who's looking for a job, please let me know. And the other person is Armel Abesi, based in Saskatoon. As you notice, we have a lot of people based in Regina, Saskatoon. Main office is in Regina, secondary is Saskatoon. And so this is how we try to cover the whole province. Apart from the program I just talked about it, we do all others. We do have other stuff too. We do organize some job fair. But actually, right now we are in partnership with different people. We're doing one October 27th with the other provinces. It's a 3-province job fair, which is interesting. So because of COVID, so far we're doing everything virtually, like everybody else here. We also offer some job employment readiness workshop, various themes, networking session. We do that. We do a facilitated meeting between employer and job seekers. We also publish some job at Tête de l'Emploi, which is the name. And everybody we work with, we have the email. So every week they get all the job we have to publish, they receive straight and direct in the email. So they can, if they need help to apply, they can give us a call and we help them through the process. Also help people find some internship placement. And like I said, job search and application, we also do that with people we work with. So this morning we're here for what? Of course, we received the invitation for Deborah for sure, but we're here basically, what we would like from here, it's we want to get to know you and for you to know us better. So from there, if we know each other, then we can find out what we can do together. And I'm sure there's a lot of things we can do together. We don't know each other very well. But we hope from here, we're going to be able to, know each organization better and see what we can do together. The other one we can do, so like I said, build some partnership. We would like to do that. For example, for the job fair, we have a program with Accès Emploi where I'm sure different business in your area, or even you or people you have, we can use those programs, and we would like to work with that. Like I say, make our program available to your clients, because I'm sure we're all here because we want to help people. Like Deborah said at the beginning, we're here to help people to get their life better. So we have some program we can help them, and we are willing to share with you guys. And the other thing we do is to identify and connect with job seeker and employer in your region. I'm sure you know people in your area who are looking for people to hire or vice versa. So let us know and what we can do. We'll be glad to help you with that. Because like I said, we're here to help people put bread on the table, to help, have a better life. This is why we're doing this. And we're here to help you, you to help us too. Basically, that's what we're here this morning for. And this is what I wanted to share with you. I'm sure because we were very fast, but you get all the contact, and if you need more detail, I will be here and to answer all questions if there's any. And thank you for the time.
I just have more of a comment than a question. I really do appreciate that for the women's program that there's that transportation and daycare piece, because it's not just about having that program available, it's to allow a vulnerable population to have access to it and the means to get to there. So I just wanted to say thank you for that. I think that's really commendable of you. And again, to the SEISHA members, those of you who are members of SEISHA, again, another beautiful face that we forward some of his information along to you. So now you have a face to put on with my millions of emails that I send. And I'm just reading. I think we have a question on the comments section. I'm just going to read it over very quickly. So it is from Delise from Prairie Skies. It is a great pleasure to learn about these helpful programs taking place. And program managers subscribe to a mailing list so we can keep our communities updated about Siriki, do you have a newsletter already? I believe you do. Am I correct, or?
Excuse me?
Do you have a newsletter with your organization by any chance?
Yes, we do.
Okay, perfect. So let me just.
Hi, Deborah. Sorry for the interruption. I didn't mean to interrupt at all. I've just heard about so many great programs and would love to be able to spread the information, and simply just asking to be subscribed to newsletters. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, no problem. And I know several of our panelists today do have newsletters. I know a lot of them is in French, but if you need help accessing that information in English, or you need a navigator, I can help you to that, or you can contact Siriki directly, as well as our other panelists if you have information. They do, although they speak French and it's predominantly French focus, they are open to working collaboratively with you, and that's why they're here today. So yeah, we can look into that further afterwards. So thank you so much, Delise, for that comment, and that's a great idea. All right, so our next panelist is Mamadi Camara, and he's the Provincial Logistic Coordinator at Collège Mathieu. So Collège Mathieu is with Education and Immigration Services. I believe he would be able to clarify that a lot better than I. So I will go ahead and give the floor to you, Mamadi. whatever language you choose. You could speak French, you could speak English, whatever you feel comfortable.
Merci, Deborah. Je vais parler en
Thank you,
français.
Deborah. I'm going to speak in French because that is easier for me. And I'm going to share my screen.
Merci.
Thank you. So my name is Mamadi Kamara. I am the provincial coordinator for the provincial logistics coordinator for Collège Mathieu. And my presentation today is on presenting the services offered by Collège Mathieu to new arrivals that are newcomers that are Francophone and Francophile in Saskatchewan. My presentation is going to touch on the following points. I'm going to start with a brief introduction. I'm going to present the CLIC program. That is really the main component of my presentation. I'm also going to talk about other credited programs offered by Collège Mathieu. I'm also going to talk about continuing education program and skills enhancement training, the family literacy program, documentary resources, and a conclusion. In my introduction, the purpose of this presentation is to provide information on the main programs and services that Collège Mathieu offers in general to the public, and more specifically to Francophone and Francophile newcomers living in Saskatchewan. Collège Mathieu offers various programs, and it is physically present in 3 locations in Saskatchewan, namely Gravelbourg, which is the headquarter campus. We also have a campus in Regina and another one in Saskatoon. And I must say as well that Collège Mathieu is a very old institution. It's one of the first Francophone institutions of Saskatchewan. The college exists since 1918. So we have approximately 103 years. As I wanted to say, I'm going to start by the CLIC program. The CLIC program is a language course for immigrants in Canada. This program is really based on learning French for immigrants. We offer the possibility of learning French. We offer this to immigrants. It is financed by Immigration Canada, IRCC. And it's a new program. We started the program with an experimental phase in January 2020. And the trial went from January to March. And then as of April 1st, 2020, we actually started the CLIC program. So this program is quite young still. The CLIC program staff, we have the CEO of Collège Mathieu. I am the program coordinator and 3 instructors. One is based in Saskatoon and 2 others are in Saskatoon. I am in Saskatoon. So what is the CLIC program? The CLIC program is a language instruction program for immigrants to Canada. It's kind of like the equivalent of LINK that you have in English, but in French we call it CLIC. So this program is based on Canadian language benchmarks, which we call CLB. The CLB is a descriptive scale of 12 levels of proficiency that has 3 stages. Stage 1 is beginner, levels 1 to 4. Stage 2 is levels 5 to 8, and stage 3 is from levels 9 to 12. For us, our program is currently limited to stage 1. So we offer classes that help newcomers to learn French from level, really, it should be level 0, because most of our clients come with absolutely no French. They don't know how to speak French. So we help them from 1, or we can say 0, to level 4. So since we started in April, I think there are at least 3 groups that have completed level 4, and generally these clients continue with they continue their French learning with Collège de la Cité, which offers distance education classes from levels 5 to 8. And so this is encouraging for us because it means that our clients, when they finish with us, they continue. So this means that there is a success. In order to be eligible for the program, you need to be 18 years or older, you need to be a permanent resident, and you must reside in the province of Saskatchewan. Sometimes I receive applications from clients who live in Vancouver or who live even in Alberta, but I refer them to my colleagues in those regions because the program would be available in those regions as well. In order to have access to the program, you need to take a placement test, and this test is conducted by an organization based in Winnipeg, WILAC. They are the ones who handle placement tests. I receive the applications from clients and I refer them to this organization for testing. And as soon as I receive the test results, then I can assign clients to their class. The program structure. Today, we have an agreement with Immigration Canada. We have 47 placements. Our classes are 6 hours per week. So this means that each client receives 6 hours of class per week, generally speaking. So we could do more, but most clients work. These are people who work and they're only available in the evenings. And so we are trying to structure the program so that they can learn at the same time as they work. Given that we are in a minority situation, we propose 4 months for the duration, and this gives them enough time to learn French. 4 months of classes. It's approximately 36 sessions. That means that 36 classes are followed. Yes, 36 classes for the entire session. So that's approximately 16 weeks. We have regular sessions. July, August, September are included, March. We also have sessions that could start. It's a flexible program. A session can commence anytime as long as I have enough enrollments, because when clients come, they start the program. But since we are in a minority situation, people have no knowledge of French. So often when you mix them with a class that has already been through 4 or 5 weeks, they quit. So in order to retain clients, we've seen through experience that I try to have a homogeneous group where people start together and progress together. We are open to accepting them throughout the session as long as they're okay with that. We have different delivery modes. It can be in person, they come to class. We do this in Regina and Saskatchewan. And it can also be video conference and synchronous mode. So the students and the teacher are present at the same time. We have clients throughout the province. We have people who take it in Prince Albert, others anywhere in the province. The program design includes various learning activities such as writing, reading, listening, discussion, presentations. So we also have volunteering hours in the community. We try to connect them to community activities so that they can practice their French. The program content is inspired by the theme suggested by the Language Course Program for Immigrants to Canada. We have various themes, for example, healthcare, housing, employment, banking. The content of the program is actually linked. The aim is to help students learn. The goal is not necessarily for them to only learn French. It's not just learn French and that's it. It's also to understand the Canadian reality, the Canadian culture, helping them while they learn French so that they can understand how a French society operates. So there's two objectives. They learn French, but they also know how to go about finding a job, how to find information. So we kill many birds with one stone. So the training content is regularly improved and updated. The teaching method that we use is we really rely on portfolio-based language assessment. This means that it's a methodology that allows teaching to really be connected to real life and real life situations. For example, our French language courses, for example, how to introduce yourself. My name is so-and-so, I come from this country, and I've been in Canada for such and such period. And that's how they can actually introduce themselves in real life. So these are teachings that are really focused on real life. Everything that we teach them, they must be able to encounter that in real life. So it's not just a theoretical teaching, it's lessons that they can use in their daily living. And that is also the goal of the training. So the certificate, in order to obtain the certificate, you need to have at least an 80% attendance rate. So the students should always be present, complete all homework assignments, at least the minimum required. So the minimum is at least 8 assignments in every skill. A certificate of success is issued upon successfully completing the session to each client. So we also have a conversation circle, and this conversation circle is offered to clients enrolled in CLIC. So in addition to the classes that we offer, we also give clients the opportunity to meet, to discuss, to actually practice the lessons that they were taught and the competences and skills that they have been practicing in class. So now they have an extra opportunity to practice what they have learned in class. So that was really the CLIC or LINK program that is meant to cater to newcomers who are Francophone and Francophile. As I said, they must be a permanent resident and they must live in Saskatchewan to be eligible for this program. It is a new service that Collège Mathieu offers to these clients. And as I said, it's been here since January 2020. That was the trial period. And then since April 2020, it's been a regular program. And we have a high demand. We don't have a wait list because with the placement test system, I have approximately 40 people who are currently in the program, but I have maybe 25 who are waiting to take a placement test, and I receive applications every day practically. I am the main point of entry for this program. Anybody who needs to register and enroll in this program, I am the first point of contact, generally speaking. In addition to these classes for immigrants, we also have credited programs at Collège Mathieu. These programs are also to participate in the welcoming, integration, settlement of newcomers in the community. We have a number of different programs. We have a welding program. We have a specialized educational assessment program, early childhood education, business administration techniques, healthcare workers, licensed practical nurse. These programs are delivered online by video conference and or face-to-face. We also have the continuing education and skills enhancement trainings program and the continuing education and skills enhancement training program, as I mentioned. So in this program, what we see are French learning program classes that are offered to the public at large in the evening to adults and children. You have to pay for them, and They currently, with COVID, they are offered by video conference. In person, it's possible to attend in Regina and Saskatoon, but since COVID, everything has gone online. We also have French courses for Saskatchewan government employees. This program has been around for almost 5 years now, and practically every session includes provincial government employees who participate in the program. The Collège Mathieu is also a DELF center, which means that if you need to accredit your French knowledge skills, we have an exam that we offer in collaboration with the Embassy of France in Ottawa and with International Programming in France that offers the diploma. We are an exam center, so if you want to accredit your French level, you can reach out to us. The tests come from France and we oversee the examination process. We correct the exams and then we send it back to France and the person obtains their diploma. In addition to these French classes, we also have skills enhancement trainings for first aid, food safety, and various other specific trainings on request. For example, human resources, social media, etc. We have a lot of skills enhancement training courses that are offered on demand based on the demand from our community partners. We also have the PCFAD program. It's a Canadian distant learning program or platform. In this program, we also have French classes, and you will see that we have approximately 3 categories of French classes. One is for immigrants, one is for the general public at large, which they have to pay for. But this program, PCFAD, is actually a program that is self-guided. So it needs to be someone who has a basic knowledge of French. They want to improve their skills. They can join this program. This person has a teacher by distance, and this person works autonomously, independently. So if they have questions, issues, someone can assist them. But for the most part, this is really a self-taught class, and it's open to all Canadians, Francophone, Francophile. The only criteria for eligibility is that they need to be a Canadian citizen, permanent resident, but it's for Canadians or permanent residents. So if you want to improve your French skills, you are more than welcome, and it's free. Basic math skills, basic computer skills. These are also offered on this Canadian platform. So the aim is to enhance essential skills needed for employment and successful integration in the labor force. On top of that, we also have the Family Literacy Program. The Family Literacy Program is offered to families and children from 0 to 5 years of age to go through activities that allow them from a very young age to be exposed to the French language in order to maintain the French language and to really, from the very beginning, establish a solid base in French. It's offered to all families, Franco-Saskwa, exogamous families, Francophone newcomers. Every year we have approximately 2,000 to 3,000 participants in this program. Then we have the resource center that we call the Lien, and Le Lien it's a library resource center that offers thousands of resources, books, audiobooks, magazines, guides that we provide to families And anyone who wants to read in French, it's a Francophone resource. And this is all purchased by the Collège Mathieu, and it allows us to support our family literacy program since they need reading books, they need support. We are able to do that and offer these resources. This is all handled by the Collège Mathieu, and this resource center is based in Gravelbourg.
Alors, c'est ça, en général.
So in general, that's all I had to say. Basically, the most important parts of my presentation. And I would like to thank you for your attention. And if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Merci.
Thank you.
Merci beaucoup. Thank you so much, Mamadi. I do believe we have one question. So when there are new arrivals who don't speak French or English, would it be possible for them to learn French throughout the program of CLIC?
No.
No?
Oui,
Oh.
c'est ça. Le programme est oui, le programme est ouvert à toute personne.
Yes, the program is open. The only condition, they have to permanent resident living in Saskatchewan. If there's no English, no French, they come and will help. We are here, we are professional, and it's so we have a lot of clients that came from Asia. It came around the so people that haven't been to school and they don't understand. We do everything for everyone. They can have the basic for French, and then they can eventually learn in French. Everyone's welcome.
Thank you. Merci, Mamadi. Is there any other questions for Collège Mathieu while we... Okay, I don't see any hands up. So we will go to our next panelist. So our final panelist for today is Mireille Bizimana, and with the Communauté des Africains Francophones de la Saskatchewan. So that translates to African Communauté des Africains, African Community Francophones of Saskatchewan. So I'll give it to you, Mireille.
Je vous remercie.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very happy to be in this conference. It's a grand chance for the African Francophone community to strengthen the links with Anglophones in Saskatchewan. So first, so what is CAFS? It's we regrouped African Diaspora French and founded in April 2008. So our logo, fraternity, solidarity, integration, in our vision to have a fraternal community integrated and to participate fully with Saskatchewan and Canada. So our mission is really to help welcome and support and integrate Francophone Africans and inform them on what's available and to encourage and strengthen friendship ties, fraternity, solidarity, and to promote the Francophone African culture and to help and fight for its interest and to represent them everywhere that it's necessary. So we have many projects to meet those objectives. So the first project, it's called Immersion Francescoise. So here we match. So we do friendship ties with new families that come with families that have been here in the province for a longer time. So activities for social integration, intercultural, so to support, so especially the ones that don't have don't have French or English, we bring them anyway in the schools and we help with interpretation. We also help visits between families, visit to museums and touristic sites and fun activities. Second project, it's meetings, intercultural and intergeneration. So the objective is to meet a space to share the African culture and other culture in France, Saskatchewan. So we share cooking activities, discussions on different cultural subject, and we do visits on historical sites. The third project is reconciliation in action. And our objective is to create friendship ties again with immigrant African Francophones and people from the First Nations and Métis. So we have workshops to share history, art, customs, traditions, and we go visit native reserves and other historical sites of First Nations and Métis. Project 4, it's we have a day, a welcoming day for the new comer. It's twice a year, sorry, and it's organized by many Francophone associations. And the main activities is to give information on the French services of the province. And there's workshops on different topics like finance, health, rights, discrimination, and also uh, with the CECS to do links between employers and newcomers. So, and we also have a project of gala, a cultural gala African. So we do an evening to share the culture, African culture, and raise money for us. And activities, it's like dances and African songs, and we share meals with a potluck with different African dishes. Also, we have a project that summer camps to diversify the activities for the young so they can learn in a fun environment, secure and culturally adapted to their needs. So we teach them different culture, the Francescoise, and also we give summer schools to strengthen the French and to math, uh, especially the ones that are behind in learning. Some are behind in learning. So if we do those summer camps, we help them so they can catch up and be on target. Also, we have the project of the history of Black in February. So it's CAFS that organizes this for the Black History Month to celebrate and share the new stories and what the Black society has brought in the Canadian society. There's school activities also. And also we do conferences and workshops with Black History Month and their contribution in Canada. And also we have a project, Include Me. The first phase is for youth. So if to raise awareness of youth of the Francophone community and Francophile of Saskatchewan on what are the what do we want to know about discrimination and racism. So we do workshops, we have books on racism, and also a workshop about with racism and the fight against racial discrimination. Alors, we collaborate with Anglophone organizations. We want them, the French organization that welcome the newcomers, we want us, they can give us information on the newcomers, African Francophones in the province, so we can follow them in the process of integration in the Francophone Saskatchewan, and we want them to do the promotion of our activities to the Anglophone, and we want the Anglophone to participation. So like when we do the matching, we can match someone that speaks English and the other one that doesn't, and they can help each other. And also the gala, it's really a showcase for our traditions and our culture, and we would love to have Anglophones and to raise money also. The more people, the better for us. And also, we need technical help. So CAFS has basically only 2 employees, the director and an assistant. So we need all the skills that are needed to manage an organization. So financing, communication. So we need, so of course we need to train our staff, and we need financial help because Africans, our members have needs, a lot of needs. So we would like to have financial help to help them in their needs. So to contact us, so this is our email. You see it, that's mine, and my phone number, and we have a website. So thank you. That's all I wanted to share with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, and merci Mireille. I was very interested in learning about, what caught my eye was that interaction, that pathways with Indigenous and Métis group. I really loved hearing about that because I was not aware of that. So thank you so much for bringing us to our attention. I love how you discuss how we can collaborate with one another, and because even I myself, I'm interested in learning more about the African community, specifically Francophone, and their history in Saskatchewan, because it does have a rich history that a lot of people may not be aware of. So I love that that is available and that we're allowing that welcoming. And Mireille is with, sorry, I just have a question, is with Communauté des Africains Francophones de la Saskatchewan. So what I will do is not today, but tomorrow after we have finished all the presentations and after all the panelists speaking, and we go through the Q&A, I will share the panelists' contact information. Some of the panelists have consented to forward also their presentation, so you can have it on hand as reference. So that is excellent. Thank you so much. So now we are at the group discussions. So everybody is more than welcome to jump in here. There's no such thing as a stupid question, or, you know, we're here to collaborate. We're here to be open and have this opportunity that all dispose, and as well as IRCC and some government representatives are here today. So if you have any questions or want to jump in and provide some feedback, that would be great. So my first question to everybody, particularly the participants here today, is there anything that you learned today that you feel will improve some of the way you work with the Francophone community? So who's going to be the first brave soul to speak out? And can you tell us about what have you learned today that will help with that?
I'll go first. So I'm Carol from the Regina Lip. In terms of what I learned today, just some additional details about, say, for example, employment programs. And as I mentioned in the chat, we are coordinating a labor market working group, and one of the activities is to develop an employer's newsletter. So certainly I'd like to reach out then to the organizations that that have employment programs. So that was great. I really appreciated that. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we have, so I think it's Siriki that has employment programs. I believe other organizations have some capacity as well. So that is excellent. I'm glad we were able to bring that along to the table. So great. Anything else that you have learned today that will help you at all? Any brave soul? No pressure. Well, since everybody's a little shy today, I'll just go ahead and jump in. I am French, and I've been raised in Canada. And on my end, I love having these gatherings because it's good to have those reminders, as well as good to know what has been developed. So Collège Mathieu, for example, I believe they started this for 2 years. So their program is very new. So I really appreciate that they highlight that as well. And I also, my French, because I went to university and I only spoke English for extensively for quite a bit of time, I unfortunately lost some of my French. So maybe I might be interested in trying to improve it further along and get back to that level I was at one point. What about the Francophones? Is there anything that you want to learn specifically, or that you're hoping to get from the English, the Anglophone community? Nothing yet? Okay. I do have Chantal Morin just shared her information just in the chat box down, so you can take a look at that. And if there's any question that comes up later, even if we may cut today's short, we always can review it tomorrow during our panel discussion. So we will have the opportunity to revisit. We'll have all the panelists that presented today here tomorrow as well as new panelists presenting some of the community and cultural programs available. I do have one question here. So what are some of the uptake referrals are like in rural areas and programs that we learned today? So can anyone touch base on some of the rural programs, Francophone rural programs specifically? And do you see many referrals from rural areas? So I think this is maybe a Saif question, since an LCF question, since you mentioned earlier that you work with the rural communities. So do you have any comments or on that at this moment? Or est-ce que tu m'entends?
Just to answer that question, a lot of our activities are virtual now, and have been in the past too, so that we can connect with people outside of Regina or Saskatoon. So that's, and a lot of the participants in our various programs did come from, or are from rural areas also. don't know if that helps.
Just maybe to add what Shal just said, I know same with the CFA, the Welcoming Francophone Community, because of COVID, all our workshops are online. So if you want to, my contact information is there. If you want to know anybody who is interested in any of the services that we offer, we can also, include them just because everything is virtual now.
So because everything is virtual, it's accessible to pretty much anyone in the province. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Our clients are based mostly in Moose Jaw and Gravelburg area, but because of virtual, we won't turn anybody away.
Okay. And also, I do want to mention to everyone, if you haven't heard, Gravelburg is uniquely a Francophone city. And it does have quite a bit of a rich history here in Saskatchewan. So if you're interested, you can Google Gravelburg maybe later if you want to learn more about that.
Deborah, can I maybe answer that question from Steph?
Yeah.
Yes. Basically, whatever all the program I share with you today, it doesn't matter where you live. You don't have to live in Regina, Saskatoon. If you need, you need that the program, you can just give us a call. We come to see you, virtually, or if we're allowed, we will even drive to your place and see whatever we can do with you and help you, do whatever you have to do. So yes, we do have some people in different rural community for sure. Few, not a lot, but I hope from today we're going to have with your help, we'll be able to reach more people in the area. And so yes, everything I share today, it doesn't matter where you live in Saskatchewan, you're eligible.
Perfect.
Sorry, Deborah. Shannon from the Conseil Culturel Francescois, our director, will be doing a presentation tomorrow on cultural events and our role in the community as well for getting people to learn about and discover the Francescois community. From a cultural point of view, there are multiple rural communities that are considered Francophone, kind of like what Deborah said with Gravelburg. There's also Bellevue, amongst many others, Bellegarde, Pontex. So they're scattered across Saskatchewan, these smaller rural communities with a significant Francophone population. And the CCF has a network with those communities where we will offer French language events a few times throughout the year. So community members do have a chance to participate in French cultural activities outside of what the school programming offers for students. It's also available to the wider community, both Francophone and Anglophone as well. So that's something Suzanne will be able to speak to a little bit more tomorrow. But we do have that connection with rural communities across the province, culturally speaking, for arts and community events.
Yeah. And Conseil Culturel, just speaking from personal experience, they do really amazing work working with artists. Shannon, I know, like, if we're looking for an artist or sorry, I guess I need more coffee and I'm already on my third cup, so that says a lot. So my question is, if a Francophone provider wants to host an event and wants to connect with a local artist and have some Francophone presence in there, is that something that you can help with?
Yes. So as we're sort of the reference point for French language artists. So whether that be people who are Francescois born and raised, went through immersion, are interested in the French language. So what we do is we offer programming for those artists, as well as different financial opportunities for them as well. And because we do have the connection with the artists, we always welcome people to, send us an email, find out sort of which Francophone artists are in their community. We can help with those connections. As it stands now, we don't have an official sort of catalog or Francophone artist phone book, if you will. But I do know that that's something that was in the works for a while. We are currently working on revamping our website, so that's something that we're looking at in the future as well, just to help all of our partners get directly in touch with the artists themselves. On our end, we always welcome people to follow our social media. So that's the Conseil Culturel Francescois, as we share updates and artwork by our various Francophone artists. So that's a way for people to discover artists from across the province, as well as we have a tendency to share whatever it is they're sharing on social media as well. So that's just a way for people to see the different art forms across Saskatchewan.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Shannon. I do want to mention, since we're on the topic of events and culture, so Société Historique de la Saskatchewan wanted to be present tomorrow for our next meeting, but they are currently hosting the Journée du Patrimoine, which is Heritage Fairs. There is a public day. I'm just going to share the link. So if you're interested in that, I believe it's free for the public. I believe it's on September 28th. Yes. So it's on from September 22nd to the 28th. So right now they're doing this for French and Francophone French schools and emergent schools, sorry. And I think the theme this year is the Prairie Lily. So this is very educational based Francophone history in Saskatchewan. So there's one this year at the Government House of Saskatchewan Historic Site in Regina. So if you're interested in that, just click the link next to you and that could give you a little bit more information. I used to work there, so I know a little bit about them too. So unfortunately they weren't here. They're not able to present tomorrow, but just because it's on the same day of this event. So, but if you're interested in learning more, there's that link to your site as well. Yeah, and the Francophone community, as well as Anglophone, we want, from both perspectives and on several occasions, I hear that we want to collaborate together. We want to do this networking. So I am so happy we're here today. And thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Do you have any comments that you would like to add to the table, or any questions for the panelists that spoke today? No? Okay. I know in regards to cultural bridging, any opportunities that you find may interest you or that you would be interested in piggybacking on, or I don't know. No? It's almost lunchtime and everybody's just kind of need to take a breath. And please don't worry. If you have any questions, we can always move it to tomorrow. I do have something in the chat box here. So the prospect of regional, so I'm just going to read it out loud. So always curious of how the prospect of regionalization is perceived by those living in the largest cities. For example, if you become aware of a suitable rural job for a client of yours, would helping them transition to the community new role be a service you could provide them? Okay, so I think that's a question for the Francophone providers. So if you become aware of a suitable rural job for a client of yours, would you be willing to helping them transition to that community or new role to be a service? So is that a service that can any Francophones that we have on the panel today comment on that? So I'm always curious whether promoting rural jobs in the bigger cities would be various community clients.
Can I maybe try to answer that?
Yeah, go right ahead. Yeah.
Yes. This is when at the end of my presentation, I say get to know you better and you to know us, and some kind of partnership. I think there's something we can do. And the idea is basically, like you said, newcomers tend to go for the big cities, right? They don't usually think about small city, rural area. They don't think about it. Sometimes they have no idea. And trust me, this is something because of the way they promote cities, and I think one thing I might be the least to work with you is like I'm wanting to work for the rural people. Like we can put together a job fair for rural job. So we're gonna organize. So basically, we're gonna tell people live in the city, look at what you can have in Gravelburg, what you can have in Moose Jaw, what you can have in Assiniboia or North Battleford, or so on and so on. So I'm wanting to work with you guys. We can put something together. It can be Moose Jaw, it can be different city. We can work together, put a special job fair for rural job. So, but targeting people living in big cities like Regina, Saskatoon, PA. So, I'm wanting to do something like that with you.
Well, that's exciting. So you're willing to work with Prairie Skies to see if it could be possible if maybe to do a job fair specifically on those rural areas or bring awareness to what's available.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for that response. I think that's such an interesting idea. And I mean, COVID has limited us in many ways, but I've often thought about the concept of like rural community tours. I mean, even for us in Moose Jaw, if we could, have some of the newcomers who live here see what it's like in Gravelburg, just go down for the day or that kind of a thing. But, can't pile so many people into a bus right now, but.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, here's a good question. What about small businesses? Oh, that's you again, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it's just in the rural areas, I think there's a lot of retirement happening, and they need succession planning. And, when we're talking about rural, whether we're talking Francophone or Anglophone, either way, that community really relies on the small businesses that are there. And if succession planning doesn't happen, not only does a newcomer lose the opportunity for, a great career for themselves in Canada, but the whole community loses the opportunity for a grocery store or whatever it happens to be. So that's why I made that comment, but it falls really into what we were already discussing. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And I am just trying to pull up an old document. Or maybe I'll send it later. Because I do have a chart here. I believe the RIF is the one who took the initiative. It's an older document. I think it was 2017, 2018. That kind of shows some of the projects and programs, like in a graph of the rural communities, Francophone rural communities. So once I find that document, I'll try to send it to you as well tomorrow afternoon when I send out a survey, as well as yeah, and also just so everyone is aware, I think I already mentioned this, I will be uploading this recording onto our website either sometime this week or early next week. So if you have any colleagues that would like to review what's available or haven't had the opportunity to come here today, they can always access that on our website. And we will also be doing this annually. So next year, we'll try to organize something similar like this every year, just so we have everybody in one table so that we can have this open discussion with the entire community. and it might be different because of COVID, but we'll get to there when we get to there. I think that's it. Does anyone have any other questions or remarks? What other kind of pathways do you particularly see yourself potentially doing with the Francophones? So from what have you heard today, what other initiatives do you think can be made? Any brave soul that wants to speak? Okay. So I don't see any comments or anything in the chat box. So it looks like we might be ending today early, unless, is there anything now that we have the Francophone team here, is there anything that you would like to convey to the Anglophone SPOs or government officials, since we have everyone on the board here today? No, okay, and sorry, I didn't mean to put anyone on the spot there, but we could always touch base tomorrow. So I do have some homework for the Francophones here, as well as the Anglophones. And again, I don't want to put you on a spot, but I know I just did, so I apologize. But there's anything that comes to mind, anything that you heard today, and I know it's quite a lot of information all at once, that you see your potential opportunity for networking or collaboration, as Siriki and Dalis mentioned, that right there was a good connection and opportunity. Oh, we do have Julien. He's from Association Jeunesse. He just has his hand raised, so I'll let you go ahead.
Yeah, well, I get the opportunity to have a captive audience tomorrow for 15 minutes, and I was wondering if there was anything that, from you guys, the consumer in this case, that would like to know about the youth, or anything that was driven towards questions you might have, or maybe I can go get some information and make sure that it's pertinent and exciting tomorrow, and you know, maybe get a few more of you to light up your cameras and interact with me tomorrow. So is there anything that you guys can think of that you'd like to know from a youth perspective, whether it's in English or in French or anything like that, that I can maybe kind of steer my presentation towards tomorrow?
Julianne, oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Just wondering, what is your organization's focus? Maybe that would just help us to understand what we would like to know.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I should have started there. We're a Francophone Youth Association that's for youth and by youth. So we're a youth-driven board organization that's been around for about 43 years. And we basically organize events for French-speaking youth ages 12 to 25. From a variety of backgrounds and a variety of French skill sets or capabilities, but basically, if you can read the poster, you can come. And basically, we try to organize a variety of events, from whether it's youth parliaments to rock concerts to workshops. We pretty much run the gamut of, I guess, French experiences. And what we try to do is I guess, create a sense of belonging in the youth, not only in the community, but in Saskatchewan, and very much focused on youth engagement and trying to convince them that they can make a difference, kind of thing.
Thank you very much. I unfortunately cannot attend tomorrow, but I really look forward to seeing the notes from that. Thank you.
For sure.
And actually, we do have one question here. What about homework help? So is there any help for immigrants who attend French immersion schools if they need help with school homework or anything related to their education?
So in collaboration with community partners, we are in the process of launching a website to assist in that. It should have been launched about a month and a half ago, but technology and partnerships to ensure the qualified professionals has slowed down the process a little bit. But I will be showcasing a new project tomorrow called tontutar.ca or learninfrench.ca, which is basically a networking platform that will allow tutors and people seeking services to, I guess, bridge that gap and also offer like a way for people to generate revenue and or offer free services that may be or are supported by associations such as ACF. So maybe I can give you guys a little avant-goût of what should be launched in the next hopefully 10 to 15 days if everything goes according to plan.
Hi, Julian. Prairie Skies for sure would be interested in learning more about engaging youth to, to hear those first person experiences and to have the advisory support of youth, not just in the sense of like how best to do it, but we work largely most with, what I mean is we work with adults for the most part, of course, and we would like to engage youth voices, but there's some risks that come along with that too. And so that's one kind of thing we would be interested in, both best practices and just operational things to consider, if that sits within your mandate.
Oh, for sure. It would be my pleasure. It might be a little bit of a disaster for those who are doing the interpretation and my lack of preparation, but I can wing it, no problem, and help you guys out and try to make it more dynamic. It's not easy working with youth and in the immigration population. They are those who came here, I would say, without a choice and are often I won't say forgotten in the process, but survival is usually the number one step in integration. And then the youth sometimes get not shuffled to the side, but they're pretty bored waiting for their parents while they fill out paperwork. So that would be my strongest suggestion, is to maybe find something entertaining for them to do while their parents fill out the paperwork. So.
And Julianne, we at the Regina Lip receive, I would say, just numbers of inquiries about programs for newcomer youth. So it will be really important for us to understand what you offer. And also we would probably like to highlight them on our blog, our project blog at the very least, because again, we receive a number of inquiries about how to engage, what kinds of programs and services are offered in this community. And so this will be really helpful.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Yeah, and since you're not, and for anybody who's not available tomorrow, I'll make sure that my contact information is available. And also sometimes we need to tailor some of our approaches and our workshops and stuff for certain clienteles, and that's more on an individual basis to understand that we want to answer the need, and we've only got one opportunity when it comes to youth, so we got to make sure our first swing is for the fences kind of thing.
Thank you. And if there's any other panelists, if there's any information you want me to forward to the participants today, please send them to me so I could send it out in one email. And I could send those resources, as well as if there are any questions that came up today, I can pass that along as well. And there is another thing in a chat box. I don't know if we're able to go through specific, just because we can go into large discussions regarding this, but this would be interesting to explore. So what are some of the newcomer Francophone youth challenges, the needs, specific settlement services that will lack right now in French Saskatchewan? So what is the need in terms of newcomer Francophone youth challenges? So specific settlement services. So I think that could be a question for Association Jeunesse, le SAIF. What are we seeing in terms of challenges for youth, and what do we need? Yeah. So do you have any comments on that at this time, or?
It's a super loaded question, and I maybe just highlight maybe in different sectors of needs, but I would say that the number one need, I would say, is understanding of the financial encompassance of signatures and the contract writing in regards to cell phones, in regards to banking, I guess, arrangements and long-term impacts of signing up to certain things, I would say, would be something in an economic sector. Obviously, youth employment and all of that stuff is a big thing. And then the other thing I would say is not, the biggest need is maybe not in the immigration population, but preparing the welcoming atmosphere, the understanding of the youth that are interacting with people from a variety of places in the world. Maybe the Saskatchewan youth that have been here may have misconceptions, misunderstanding of religious diversity, and that type of thing. In the other sector, I would also say that women's rights and the LGBT community and the advancements that we've made may not be the same where they're coming from. And there is some, I don't want to use the word catching up, but maybe some information that needs to be shared with them, that it might not get you a date if you catcall a woman in Saskatoon. Like, you're just not gonna, you're not gonna get what you want out of that. So, you know, just sharing that kind of basic life skill information would be like the three biggest things that we've noticed are kind of preparing the welcoming environment is needed. And also, I guess the other thing that is never really mentioned is the economic disparity that happens, especially in the Francophone community, because we have only one Francophone education system. So there's a large disparity between people that get here and the people who have been established, and the youth feel that pressure. So they don't have the cell phone, they don't have the car, they don't have all of that. And there needs to be more information shared with them to understand that it's a process and that it's not every white kid that has a cell phone and a car. It just happens to be the reality that they live in right now. So I think that education and finding ways for them to share their apprehensions and the change of venue, because a lot of you that I get a chance to speak with may not understand why their parents made the choice to immigrate, and it because they don't see it as a distinct advantage of being here. Especially those who immigrate after the age of 6, they had friends, they had realities that have been transplanted here, and they have to, I guess, rebuild those partnerships and those relationships.
If I could just add a little bit to what Julien has mentioned, I find that in rural communities, the biggest challenge is transportation. As Julien mentioned, you know, they don't have a car, and it's different than what it was 10 years ago when they had the STC bus that would go from rural communities into the cities. Now they don't have that option, which is one of the reasons why there's a penury. It's people don't want to come to the rural communities because of that, you know, and that's something that I wish STC would come back. But you know, there are a lot of the communities have come up with different options. I know Gravelburg has a care van that goes to the city. I believe it's once a week, you know, for doctor's appointments and other things. But I believe in the rural communities, that's one of the things that people find that most difficult is lack of transportation or lack of public transportation.
And in terms of rural communities on the Anglophone sides, are you seeing similar challenges or patterns that was shared with us today?
In regards to transportation, absolutely. And in regards to, you know, in most things, it's similar. You know, there's, you know, looking for a place to live and understanding the Canadian way of life. And yeah, it's whether you're French or English, it's all the same.
Okay. And that's really important to know, is understanding those challenges and if we're seeing those similar patterns, so that we could come to a resolution or goal, because maybe ISPO on the Anglophone side may already have an initiative or plan to address the particular challenges. So knowing that you may also have that as well, and if they're in the process of doing that, or the Francophones are in the process of doing that, it's good that we convey that information to one another so that we can maybe work together and streamline our information to ultimately support the clients that need those services. So thank you for sharing that information today. It's really appreciated. And as some of you, I know a lot of our guests here today are members of SAISHA. We do have our urban sector meeting. Kindly be made aware that after our discussion, I will be extending the invitation as well to some of the Francophone SPOs to see if they may be available. And we can review that maybe further and it's something I'm willing to organize ongoing if we want to continue that level of discussion. So. Okay. Is there any other questions or comments at this time? I know that's a pretty vague question. I need to maybe tell a story and then we kind of jump in there. I think that's it for today, or I just want to make sure before we close off. And again, since we have a lot of information that's coming our way for the first time, either we heard it or it's a refresher, we can always, tomorrow there's going to be a large amount of time to have these discussions and just review some of the questions and some of the things you heard today that maybe we can bring together collaboratively. So I think that would be it for today. So again, the panelists today will also be here tomorrow. In addition, there'll be other panelists presenting on community programs. And again, SAISHA would like to thank our advisory group members as well as the panelists that without you, we wouldn't be here. So thank you so much for taking the time and being here today. And I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow first thing at 9 in the morning. So. And that's Saskatchewan time, because I know we have other guests here today from Winnipeg, I believe. I think some from Alberta. So we have quite a diverse group here today. So thank you so much, everyone. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
Merci. Thank you. See ya.
Merci.
Very much.
Merci. Thank you.